A warm welcome to you, scholars and lovers of literature, to another captivating deep dive with Professor DC. Today, we're about to embark on an exhilarating journey into the heart of one of the Shakespeare's most chilling and intense scenes, Act 1, Scene 5 of Macbeth. This isn't just any scene, this is where the wheels of fate begin to turn, where ambition crosses the threshold into treachery, and where the true power behind Macbeth is unveiled. Yes, I'm talking about Lady Macbeth, the character so complex, so driven by the thirst of power, that she's willing to call upon dark forces to achieve her own goals. Friends, in this video, we'll unravel the layers of ambition, gender dynamics, and supernatural influence that Shakespeare weaves into this pivotal scene. Prepare yourself because we are not just going to read the text, we are going to live it, breathe it, and understand it in a way that makes it impossible to forget. So, if you're ready to see how one letter, one prophecy, one woman's ambition can set the stage for one of the greatest tragedies in literature, you, my friend, are in the right place. Buckle up because this is Macbeth like you've never experienced before. Let's dive in. Those of you who have not seen my previous videos, I want to give a brief summary of the previous scenes in Macbeth to help you connect the dots. Of course, in a nutshell, we started off with Act 1, Scene 1, where the play opens with three witches meeting on a desolate heath in the middle of a thunderstorm. They speak in mysterious and ominous tones, planning to meet again after a battle to confront Macbeth. This short scene sets the eerie and supernatural tone of the play. Moving on, we see Scene 2 of Act 1, where King Duncan is informed about a fierce battle between his forces and the rebellious forces of Norway and Scottish traders. The brave warrior Macbeth is praised for his heroic actions in defeating the enemy. The king decides to reward Macbeth by giving him the title of Thane of Cawdor, as the previous Thane is being executed for treason. We also understood in Scene 3 of Act 1 that on the way back from the battle, Macbeth and Banquo encounter three witches. The witches greet Macbeth with three titles: Thane of Glamis, which he already is, Thane of Cawdor, which he doesn't know about yet, and the future king. They also tell Banquo that he will father a line of kings, though he will not be the king himself. After the witches vanish, Ross and Angus arrive to tell Macbeth that he has indeed been named the Thane of Cawdor. Now Macbeth starts to wonder if the prophecy about becoming a king might also come true, which begins to steer his ambition. Moving on to Act 1, Scene 4. What happens is, at Duncan's place, Duncan thanks Macbeth and Banquo for their bravery in the battle. Duncan then announces that his son Malcolm will be the next king. Now friends, this news disturbs Macbeth because it means there is now an obstacle between him and the throne. He starts to think about what might need to do to become the king himself. Moving on to Act 1, Scene 5, which is why we are all here, and Act 1, Scene 5 of Macbeth, a moment in Shakespeare's play that pulses with raw energy of ambition, power, and dark resolve. This is the scene where the play's thematic undercurrents of ambition and moral corruption truly begin to surface. But before we dissect the intricacies of this scene, let's contextualize where we are in the narrative. So far, we've seen Macbeth, a decorated warrior, encounter three enigmatic witches who prophesize his rise to kingship. But these predictions are more than mere words. They are seeds of ambition planted in fertile ground. However, as we move into Act 1, Scene 5, it's not Macbeth's ambition that takes the spotlight, but rather the chilling resolve of Lady Macbeth. She's the one who will catalyze the tragedy that unfolds. So, the first section that we are going to take a deep dive into is reading and reacting. Lady Macbeth's first appearance. Friends, in this scene, we are introduced to Lady Macbeth as she reads a letter from her husband. This letter isn't just a piece of correspondence, it's a harbinger of destiny, a document that sets the stage for one of the most infamous power grabs in literary history. The letter reads, "They met me in the day of success, and I have learned by the perfectest report. They have more in them than mortal knowledge." Friends, here we see Macbeth recounting his encounter with the witches. But more than the words on the page, it's Lady Macbeth's reaction that we must pay attention to. As she reads, her mind begins to churn, her ambitions kindled by the possibilities this letter presents. Shakespeare, in his brilliance, doesn't need to describe Lady Macbeth's thoughts explicitly. Instead, her actions and subsequent words convey a woman who is not merely content to dream of power. She is determined to seize it. Her ambition is sharp contrast to Macbeth's own uncertainty, a point that will become increasingly significant as we move on. Next section is about the famous soliloquy, unveiling ambition. Now, friends, let's pause for a moment to savor one of the Shakespeare's most powerful soliloquies, Lady Macbeth's "Unsex me here" speech. This is where her character's complexity shines through. Lady Macbeth cries out, "Come, you spirits that tend on mortal thoughts, unsex me here, and fill me with the crown to the top full of dirtiest cruelty." This isn't just a plea, it's a demand. Lady Macbeth is asking the spirits to strip her of all that is considered feminine: compassion, empathy, nurturing, qualities that in her mind would impede her from carrying out the dark deeds necessary to claim the throne. Notice the language here: unsex me, fill me, dirtiest cruelty. Shakespeare's choice of words is deliberate, painting a portrait of a woman who is willing to cast off her very humanity in the pursuit of power. The soliloquy is not just about ambition, it's about the lengths to which one will go to achieve that ambition, even if it means sacrificing one's own identity and mortality. For this scene, we see next the power dynamics and the catalyst for action. Friends, as Macbeth arrives at the castle, we see a fascinating dynamic unfolding between husband and wife. Lady Macbeth is no longer merely contemplating the future, she's actively shaping it. When Macbeth informs her that King Duncan will be arriving at the castle that evening, Lady Macbeth's mind immediately leaps to the opportunity at hand. And what is her response? Look like the innocent flower, but be the serpent under it. Friends, this line is crucial. It encapsulates the theme of appearance versus reality that permeates the entire play. Lady Macbeth is instructing Macbeth to hide his true intentions beneath a facade of loyalty and hospitality. She is, in a sense, coaching him in the art of deceit, a skill that will be essential if they are to succeed in their quest for power. Here we see Lady Macbeth's influence over Macbeth, guiding him towards action that he might not have taken on his own. Shakespeare brilliantly portrays her as the catalyst, the force that transforms Macbeth's talent and his latent ambition into dangerous resolve. It's a subtle but powerful shift in their relationship, one that foreshadows the tragic events to come. Next in line, we see the themes. What are the themes in this scene? Ambition, gender, and the supernatural. Let's step back and consider the broader themes at play in this scene. First, we see ambition, of course. Lady Macbeth embodies the unchecked ambition. Her willingness to embrace the darkest aspects of her nature in pursuit of power speaks to the destructive potential of ambition when it is not tempered by morality or conscience. Second, we see gender. Lady Macbeth's plea to be unsexed challenges the traditional gender roles of Shakespeare's time. She sees the qualities especially associated with femininity as weakness, hindrances to achieving her goal. Her rejection of these qualities reflects her belief that ruthless is necessary in the male dominated world of power and politics. The third theme we see here is supernatural. The invocation of spirits and the witch's prophecy underscore the play's connection to supernatural. Lady Macbeth's belief in these forces reinforce the idea that the characters in Macbeth are not merely driven by human ambition, but also by otherworldly influences that push them towards their doom. These themes intertwine to create a rich tapestry that informs the characters' motivations and actions, and ultimately the tragedy that unfolds. Let's talk a bit about the visual and emotional impact bringing the scene to life. Picture Lady Macbeth alone in her dimly lit chamber. The letter from Macbeth lies open before her, the words still resonating in her mind. The flicker of a candle casts shadows on her face, highlighting the intensity of her gaze. As she reads, you can almost see the transformation, her eyes narrowing, her lips curving to a determined smile. Shakespeare doesn't just give us a character, he gives us a force of nature. Lady Macbeth is a woman who is not content to wait for the destiny. She is determined to shape it herself, to bend it to her will. And it is this determination that will make her one of the most compelling character in all of literature. This scene is, I would say, the crucible in which her ambition is forged, setting the stage for the dark events that will soon follow. Shakespeare's ability to convey so much through a single scene, through a carefully chosen words, is nothing sort of a genius. In conclusion, my friends, Act 1, Scene 5 is where the tragedy of Macbeth truly begins. It is here that Lady Macbeth's ambition ignites the spark that will lead to murder, betrayal, and the eventual downfall of both herself and Macbeth. As we move forward in the play, keep the scene in mind and remember the resolve in Lady Macbeth's voice, the determination in her eyes, and the overall character. Because these are the qualities that will drive the plot forward, leading to one of the most devastating and thought provoking conclusions in all of the Shakespearean drama. And there you have it. Act 1, Scene 5 of Macbeth, a scene where ambition takes root, where dark intentions begin to fester, and where the line between right and wrong starts to blur. We have seen how Lady Macbeth's unyielding resolve and sharp intellect become the driving force behind one of the most infamous plots in the literary history. But remember, this is just the beginning. The tragedy that unfolds from here is a direct result of the seeds planted in this very scene. A scene where we witness the transformation of Macbeth from a hesitant warrior to a man on the brink of moral collapse, all under the influence of a woman who refuses to let anything stand in the way of her ambition. Dear friends, as we move forward, keep these themes in mind: the destructive power of unchecked ambition, the influence of supernatural, and the subversion of traditional gender roles. These are the forces that will shape the destiny of every character in this play. If today's analysis resonated with you, If it opened your eyes to the depths of Shakespeare's genius, then make sure to hit that like button and share this video with fellow literature lovers, your classmates, your batchmates, and subscribe to my channel for more electrifying exploration of the world's greatest works of literature. But before you go, let's keep the conversation going. And I would love to hear from you in the comment section. What are your thoughts on Lady Macbeth's character? How do you think this scene sets the tone for the rest of the play? Drop your comments below. I want to hear your insights. And finally, I thank you for joining me on this literary adventure. Remember, every scene, every line, every word has its purpose. It's up to us to uncover it. Until next time, keep questioning, keep exploring, and keep pushing the boundaries of your understanding. This is Professor DC signing off. You take a good care of yourself. Thank you.